How to control your thoughts.
The truth is, your mindset isn't something that's simply handed to you by circumstance. It's something shaped, molded, and directed either by the world or by God. And the Holy Spirit is waiting, so gently, so patiently, to take the reins of your thoughts and lead you into peace. But he won't force his way in. You must allow him. It all begins in the morning. The very first thing you do when your eyes open, that's where the shift can start. Before your feet touch the floor, before your fingers reach for a phone, before your mind races into your to-do list or yesterday's regrets, you can stop, you can breathe, and you can say, Holy Spirit, this mind belongs to you today. Oh, how powerful that is. That invitation, so simple, unlocks the supernatural. I've learned through many days of striving, through many tears of confusion, that you cannot control your life if you do not surrender your thoughts. The battles you fight outwardly are almost always won or lost in the quiet arena of your mind. And that is the sacred space the Holy Spirit desires to fill, not just on Sundays, not just when you're in crisis, but every single moment, starting with the very first thought you think. Now listen, you don't need to use fancy words, you don't need to perform. The Holy Spirit is not impressed with performance. He is moved by surrender. He waits for a yielded heart. So when you wake up and the anxious thoughts come rushing in, when the fear of failure, the weight of decisions, or the sorrow from yesterday comes pressing at the door of your mind, don't open it. Don't give those thoughts the front seat. Instead, turn inward and say, Holy Spirit, guard my mind. I give you full access. Some of you have been struggling because your mornings have been ruled by worry. Your peace is stolen before the day even begins. But I tell you this, the Holy Spirit wants to go ahead of you. He wants to go before your thoughts, before your reactions, before your emotions. But he can't lead a mind that's already full of noise. That's why you must surrender it daily, not occasionally, not when it's convenient, but daily. And that surrender, it isn't a moment of defeat, it's a moment of power. There is power in saying, I don't want to think my own thoughts today. I want heaven's thoughts. I want to walk by faith and not by sight. I want to respond with wisdom, not react with fear. Holy Spirit, you think through me. You speak through me. You guide my thoughts and correct me when I begin to stray. You see, people talk about mindset as if it's something you have to build with sheer willpower. But the kingdom doesn't work that way. The mindset that God desires for you isn't built by striving. It's received by surrender. That's how transformation happens, not by working harder, but by letting go and letting the Spirit of God renew your mind. And oh, the sweetness of His presence when you allow Him to come into that space. You'll notice your thoughts begin to shift. You'll stop entertaining conversations in your mind that lead to bitterness. You'll stop rehearsing failure. You'll stop feeding fear. Instead, your mind will begin to align with truth. You'll find yourself thinking thoughts you didn't generate. Ideas, strategies, revelations that could only come from heaven. It's the work of the Spirit. That's what happens when you open the door and let Him in. And I must tell you this, it doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's just a gentle nudge, a stillness, a deep breath that wasn't there before. The Holy Spirit doesn't always come with noise. Sometimes He comes with silence that heals. Sometimes He comes in the quiet, transforming your chaos into clarity, your worry into worship. But you'll miss it if your mind is too busy, if it's already filled with your agenda, your opinions, your fears. You won't hear the whisper. So give Him the first word. Let His voice be louder than your doubts. Let His peace be greater than your pressure. And as you do that, day by day, moment by moment, you will start to think like heaven. And that, my friend, is where your freedom begins. Let the Holy Spirit take the first thought of your day, and He will guide the rest. So many people ask, how do I know if it's the Holy Spirit speaking to me, or if it's just my own mind? That question has echoed through the hearts of believers for generations, and I'll tell you what I've come to know deep in my spirit. The voice of the Holy Spirit doesn't come to confuse you, it comes to confirm you. It comes to anchor you, not rattle you. It comes with a peace that doesn't always make sense to the mind, but makes perfect sense to the Spirit. My heresy. You don't have to be a prophet. You don't have to be a pastor or a preacher to hear Him. The Holy Spirit speaks to those who are willing to listen. He's speaking more than you realize. It's just that we've become so used to the noise, so used to our own thoughts, so trained by fear and logic, that we second-guess the still, small voice of God. You've heard him before. Oh yes, you have. That quiet voice that told you to turn around and call your mother. That moment when you felt led to encourage someone and you didn't even know why. The sudden urge to let go of something that was causing you pain. That wasn't you. That wasn't random. That was the Holy Spirit. He doesn't shout. He doesn't compete with the noise of the world. And if you're always rushing, always reacting, always filling every silent space with sound, you'll miss him. You must slow down. You must be still. Not just with your body, but with your heart. Because when your soul is still, his whisper becomes loud. I remember moments when I'd be on the brink of a decision. One that looked good, sounded good, but something inside felt tight. It didn't feel evil, but it didn't feel peaceful either. And I've learned to listen to that tightening, that hesitation. The Holy Spirit doesn't always say no with words. Sometimes he says it with a lack of peace. If you ignore that, you'll step outside of his perfect timing. There are people listening to me right now. You've been asking God for answers. You've been crying out for clarity. But clarity doesn't always come in the form of a lightning bolt. It doesn't always come through a sign in the sky. More often it comes as a gentle knowing, a divine confidence in your spirit that says, this is the way, walk in it. And that confidence may not make sense to your logic. It may not match what people are advising you to do. But the voice of the Spirit always aligns with peace. Always. Now let me say this. Peace is not the absence of challenge. No. You can be walking through a storm and still have peace. You can be surrounded by confusion and still feel the quiet assurance of the Holy Spirit guiding you. That's how you'll know it's him. The world gives peace that depends on the environment. The Holy Spirit gives peace that creates the environment. His peace goes before you, and oh, how he longs to lead you. He's not hiding from you. He's not playing games. He's not silent out of punishment. But he waits for space. He waits for permission. He waits for relationship. You must create a life that welcomes his voice. Not just a moment, not just a crisis prayer, but a life that says, speak, Lord. Your servant is listening.